Right, so this is Premiere Pro. Um, this is what we did the main of our editing on. Obviously this is at home, this isn't in our editing suite, this is on my Mac. I've got some clips here just for demonstrational purposes. These are just ones that I've used for my evaluation. So if I drag one in, I will show you what we can do. There we go. I guess one of the most easiest things we can do is we sort of zoom in and we can go right in, so we can go frame by frame here to if we just go all the way back, sorry. So here we can then go frame by frame to where we'd like to edit. So sort of about there. So that's very simple to do. Moving it around on the time sort of frame again, also very easy to do. We can unlink the audio, which is something obviously we had to do, and just get rid of that because obviously we put our own audio underneath. And the main effects we really used in here, you've sort of got so we've got the idea we used this blur. We went for the Gaussian blur, which is near the end of our piece. You shove that on, and then up here you can play around with it. And you can make it really blurry or none or whatever. I mean, we used it sort of about this. Repeat the edge pixels just makes it a bit nicer. We use this near the end of our piece where our ending's all a bit sort of blurred and the ideas of what happens and that. So it's all sort of ambiguous. So that's that. Also, we can then, the other thing we used really is if we go down here, there's colour correction. Did this and we popped the three-way colour corrector on, and this is where you see this, and so you can sort of start playing around with colours. So if we want to do it, and then as you can see you sort of just play around with the colours until you get the sort of colour you wanted. This was really helpful in just making sure all our lighting was consistent throughout the entire thing, and that things were, especially with our indoor shots where the cameras were in different places and obviously the light was hitting it in different places, to make sure that lighting was all really consistent. If I just shove another clip in here, and you can see a couple of other things we did. Just trim that a bit so it's not quite as long. Another one we used really for effects is we used tint. So if we pop that on there to make some of ours seem that little bit more grey. You can bring this up. Obviously this is normal, and then you can literally go all the way to black and white with this. You can map it to different colours if you want, so you can go to there, so it will go red, but we sort of kept it with the idea of the black and white to give that sort of overall grey tone, that overcast feeling, just to sort of de-hue it, desaturize some of the shots that we had. I guess the other thing really for effects we used was if we just search for it here, this is cross dissolve. So for this the two shots need to be overlaying, and you just pop that on there and you can see it works just like this. This is something that we used for our ending, where we have one continuous shot and then we cut up two other shots really small and had them constantly cross fading in. As you saw, it goes there, cross fading it all in, which is how we get that really fast edited paste bit at the very end of our piece. We also use it in the middle of our piece where we try and get from it's a transition from a flashback to the shot where he's throwing off his wallet and his jacket, etc. Two other things we did, so if I just get let's get this clip. Another thing we did, if I just detach the audio straight off, we go on here, we can go to speed and duration. Here, this is where you can slow it down by 50% and things are get slower. I mean, we can be really crazy here. I mean, we can slow it down like about 5%, and it's literally sort of like, you know, amazing. And obviously you have to put a frame blend on that to make it work a bit better, but I mean, that's how slow you can get these things. You can also make it go backwards, so we can make it go 150 times quicker, but make it go backwards. Not that this making much of sense, because obviously it's only talking, but you can do that as well. So this is something we've really played around with, really, because obviously a lot of our pieces were in slow motion. Some of them we did speed up, some of them we did slow down in some places. Burning of the Letters slowed down a little bit to really get the emphasis of the flames flickering, and as is the match. Obviously all the running is slowed down and all the smashing is slowed down. Near the end, some of that, with the whole ambiguous ending, some of that's actually sped up and reversed as well, so obviously that was quite a key thing to our piece. The other thing you can do is, okay, let's get 2 shots in here, if you're going to let me. Oh, you're not going to let me drag. Right, let's get this shot and say this shot. Right, let's unlink both, just because it's easier. And right, let's get to this. So we've got the opacity. This is how we did like our overlaying shots. So you've got the opacity up here. This one you want to keep normal. It's this one, it's the one above, that you want to click overlay. So now if we come here, you can see that there's like this weird ghosty effect of me over the top. What you want to do is you can sort of fade it in as much as you want. I mean, obviously you can have me like that if you really want. Trying to make this look a bit more so you can see it a little bit more, because obviously they're quite normal clips here. There you go, you can see it a bit better there. As you can see, I've kind of got 2 faces. And I mean, you can obviously get this to fade in by key points, keyframes, etc., etc., which I've done here. And then you just place them across, so you can click a keyframe and then you can set that to a point, so maybe you set that to nothing, and then if you move along a little bit, and then you set keyframe, and then you can have it at like 50, etc., etc., and then as that plays, that will just come in. It'll be quite a gradual thing here. It won't be a gradual thing here because I've literally only put 2 keyframes in, but as you can see, it sort of fades in there, and that basically that happens. That actually looks quite freaky. So that's how we really did our opacity. Obviously you can then sort of move on motion, and then you can go on the position and the scale, so I can move them apart if I want. I can move them up and down, and then obviously you just sort of scale in to make it look a bit better, which is something we obviously had to do to get the placement of the running so they meet each other, and the placement of the girl walking into the flames, so her and the flames correspond. To be honest, this is really what we only use Premiere Pro to do. We put it all together in here, we did these simple bits. The majority of our stuff came from After Effects, especially because obviously our most edited pieces are obviously the flashbacks, and all of that came in After Effects. Because it was a lot easier to do and then export and then put into here as a video clip than to try and do it all on here, because it's just not as sophisticated to create the sort of effects that we wanted and the amount of multiple effects at the same time. So this is how we use Pro, and yeah.